How are we all doing out in internet land? I'd like to introduce you to the team of UK Border Force. We've got Natalie here.
Hi.
And Ollie.
Hello.
And we are currently halfway through the first session here in Thorsby, and UK Border Force are in the lead. So after last year's winning the novice competition, what do you guys think you've done specifically during the winter that's put you into this, well, wonderful position?
We've practiced on lots of different surfaces to
Sand, mainly on sand.
get used to board sliding and slipping around.
Talking of board slipping around, how do you feel that the ruts, because there's something I'm looking at from the commentary box, I can see the massive ruts developing right in front of me.
I don't think it's as bad as it looks, because the horses are all taking a tighter line. So, I don't know, if you keep outside of it, then you can avoid it. I mean, you've got to cross it sometimes, but I've just been managing to keep off them a bit, really. It's not as bad as it looks. And at speed, you're bouncing over them anyway, so it's kind of...
You pick it up in the commentary when you're watching the videos back, but I spotted that you took the perfect line. That's probably why you are in the lead, because you're finding that bit of nice ground on the outside.
Yeah.
And the other riders are going through it, like Daniel with Eye Candy. He went through one of the ruts and he stacked it right in front of me, and he just, well, he's carrying a little bit of extra weight, as we all know, so he went a bit deep. So you finding that perfect line, and you might not be aware of it, but somehow you work in as a team and you're finding it. You're finding that sweet spot.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think it's we're lucky enough with a good horse and a good rider, obviously. That and being together all the last season as well, starting from the beginning from scratch, and then I don't want to use the word evolving because it sounds a bit cliche, doesn't it? But as we've sort of gone along, I mean, our communication's pretty good, isn't it? It's me like, whoa, things are going wrong, and that just knows to slow down straight away, and it's like, it's always worked pretty well for us. I think it's always paid off having that good communication. So, but yeah, I don't think I had to shout at you at all today, do I?
What I heard.
We just hammered it.
Yeah.
Just gets to a point where you sort of know what each other's thinking, and you can feel him. Can you feel him pulling on you on the back?
No, do you know what? I don't feel him at all.
No?
I have to listen for him to shout in case he falls off, which he hasn't done yet, thank God.
Right. I'll take you up on that point, being as talking about falling off. How did you feel winning the Stack of the Year last year?
Amazing. Although I do think it was close. I think because mine was more on the tumbles and the distance travelled, I think, wasn't it? Rather than, but I think if Reese hadn't hit the fence so early in the stack, that would have been a clear contender for that, wouldn't it? Because he hit that with some speed. So. The truth is out.
Did you put a little bit of theatricality in it? Did you put on a bit of a show?
No, that was genuine rolling, that was. I mean, to be honest, you see where I took air on that. That was. But I mean, like I have always said, that when I crash, I do try and get into a roll, because you take the momentum and then you're less likely to hurt yourself, isn't it? So, probably, yeah, style of crashing, and I mean, you see on the video I get whipped out, don't I? And it's like acceleration.
It was a brilliant crash, I remember it at the time. Right, so back on with today's competition, a little bit less about yourselves and thinking more about the competition that the rest of the teams out there. We'll start off with the novice, considering you last year were the novice champions. Do you think there's any difference in the standard of the novice starting this season as when you guys started last year in Wales? What's your opinions on that?
Wales was a tough one to talk about, really, wasn't it? Because it was a completely level playing field, I think, between like most people. But
Tame was the second one.
Tame, yeah, we won Tame, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because we sort of managed to sort out with a bit of practice in between of what I was doing wrong, really. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot more novice teams this year, isn't there? And
I think when they get their set borders and then get a set training routine, I think there'll be good competition.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first one's always going to be a bit of a learning curve for people, isn't it? And just depends how much they practice in between. Because if they just come to competition and just run out of competition, then the pace is going to develop a lot slower, isn't it? I think they just need to get out in between and just really start.
When we were novice, we used to practice about twice a week.
Twice a week.
Twice a week.
So, are you doing anything different now in the elite group? Do you
We
practice more or less?
less, but probably because of the ground. I think come the summer we'll practice a lot more, but at the moment we're practicing about once a month in an arena.
Yeah, and we were all pretty close then, weren't we, as well? I mean, like now it's sort of being a bit further away, but yeah, I think without sounding too you don't need as much practice. I think when you get to this level, I don't feel like I need to practice as much.
More,
but it's
adjusting your technique.
Yeah, lines and things like that. And you know, I know that cabs is you're always going to go tight, aren't you, on the lines, and I just have to. And then, like, you know, today it's just whether the ground's good. Just trying to keep all four wheels on the ground, isn't it? Really?
And just feeding off each other, like I keep saying in the commentary to all the people all the time about working, communicating. They just, as they said earlier on, they're just working telepathically almost.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know what each other wants eventually and how to run it for each other. It's been nearly a year since we've been training together now.
Yeah.
So we've learned how each other ride and board.
Absolutely.
Is there any particular teams out there that you're concerned about?
Definitely pigeons.
Always pigeons and that, isn't it? Well, I don't know, the thing is we know that loads of people are fast. Spanish, they're pretty quick. We saw them at that run, the runs that they did at Sandringham last year, because Reese had worked with her a lot in the week. And they were looking pretty smoking, I think. But yeah, it's difficult to tell because all the courses are different, the ground's different. You know, some people are not without, you know, problems happening with things. I mean, like, we've considered it done, and Levi puffing out a bit, but I think, you know, when he gets fit through the season, they've got like power out the gate sort of thing. So I think where times lost, times gained with other teams. But I mean, yeah, the pigeons I think are always going to be the biggest one for everybody.
Top dogs.
I think that's where you've got the advantage on the pigeons and afters and the others at the moment. Cabbage just weaves and keeps that constant movement, and you can, in the nitty gritty in the tighter corners, you can keep that same flow. Where Atters and Charlie's working really hard to get Atters and Naboo trying to get it under control.
You're saying I don't have to work hard?
No, I'm saying it looks effortless. The work you may be doing is hard. What I'm saying is it's effortless. It looks a lot easier. So they check in and go in, and you're just.
It's crazy.
It's going to be easier when it's keeping that power on. It's easier to board behind. So, I mean, I did that show run behind that as at Cheshire, and I got pole axe on my head. But it was just like, because when it's going, it's just, I don't know, it's something else. It's exciting, man. You're just like, and you're gone, and it's like.
How's it going? Tactics this afternoon. You've put in an awesome run. Nobody else, I think everybody else is like 3-4 seconds behind you. What's your tactics going into this afternoon? Are you going to lay one down?
Just
go faster?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if it's going to be 4 runs, I'm going to be hanging after 2, I think. I was tired this morning.
Depends on if we get rain or not, if the ground turns bad, it might not be worth us doing 4 runs.
Well, I'm just thinking, is it worth saving cabbage? Tomorrow. So you're basically going to play it by ear, you've got nothing set in stone?
No, it completely depends on conditions, how the other horses are running.
So basically you're saying you're using all your experience you gained from last year, and you're going to take all that and see exactly what's going on. If some teams are pulling out, you know, well, I can just pull out. I don't need to run because Atlas are not going, they've chickened out, Ross's legs are weak, Ross is gone, or whatever it is. You're going to use your scan and see what everybody's doing. You've been out there now, you've experienced at the ground. How would you feel that that's had an effect on your body? You were saying about the pull from cabbage. Do you feel that you're getting a lot of shoulder pressure, core strength, your legs?
Yeah, my legs and arms tired, but that's because just unfitness really from not. Well, that's, you know, over the winter we practice but not loads, and I've got skinny little chicken legs anyway, which don't stand up too much. But yeah, I think it's tough on anyone because it is bumpy and it's rutty as well, and even on the good ground it's kind of bumpy. So I suppose everyone's feeling the lack of practice, but. You know, and with that as well. But I think everyone's coming back looking a bit tired. I mean, I was still tired going into the second month from the first one. But yeah, I mean, I suppose if people throughout the season, you have the tougher ones when it's early in the year because the ground's worse. So you start to build up a bit of strength, and then when you get to like Sandringham, which is like a bowling green, it's just like it's really nice that you get fitter as it gets to the end, and then you lose it all again and have to start over it. It's like.
Do you think it's something worth contemplating about looking at your own personal fitness? Like Natalie's been working on the horse all winter. Is it worth you thinking about it and working on your leg strength? Like, I'm coming from a rugby perspective, you know.
Yeah,
and
it definitely is to keep yourself fit because it makes it easier, doesn't it? You know, if you can't go as fast, you're more likely to fall if you're tired. And all that. It's definitely more preferential to get a lot of training in, but it's just over winter. I don't know. I think it's kind of tough to feel committed sometimes when you're looking outside and it is grim, wet, but
do you think that's going to give you the extra edge though when it comes down to it at the end of tomorrow, when your body's tired, when everybody else's bodies are tired and you're feeling fatigued? Do you think that may give you the edge? It might be something you might contemplate to go and do once we leave here.
Absolutely, yeah.
Say for Ross, for example, say he comes back by the end of the weekend and he beats you by those split seconds. Do you think, what can I do to improve? I've let Natalie down potentially.
Yeah. But actually, just get on practice. Get on. It will be. I'll take some of the responsibility for that.
I'm not just leaving this at you, mind Ollie. I'm also looking at you, Natalie. Do you do any specific training at all?
I ride all day, every day.
All day, every day.
All day, every day.
So that's pretty fitness, and riding, as we all know, is very, very core orientated. So yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is for boarding as well. Because when obviously the best way of boarding is being down low, isn't it? Which is an unnatural position for your legs to want to be in for extended periods, isn't it? And the bouncing,
undulations,
undulations,
undulations. You're going up and down, and you're building that lactic acid up in your muscles. So you're working anaerobically. So you need to work on your anaerobic strength.
Yeah, I have a pretty quick recovery on muscles. I'm kind of lucky with that. Like, I do get tired obviously, but then it doesn't take me long afterwards before starting to work itself out. I don't suffer with like arm pump or anything like that. I'm just kind of, I think it's a windsurf a bit, and that kind of worked it out. So that's different people. You've got Ross boarding for 2 teams, so I think his leg strength is going to be pretty high, isn't it? Really, on a base level. I don't really know how much of a more training like to his own body he'd have to do, because I think that just probably practicing and the competitions for him are enough of a massive workout that he needs to keep building up.
So to get people to have some more idea about you guys, what do you do for a living? Start with Ollie.
I'm a gardener. Work for a college in Cambridge.
What do you do, Natalie?
I work in polo, so hence the riding horses all day, every day. I play a bit and do mostly training and exercising horses. What do I do?
Do you like to do anything else for fun? What else do you like to do to get up for fun?
Climbing. I do that now with Reese and Rich and a couple of boarders. Bouldering really, like not so much of the rope stuff at the moment.
What's bouldering?
It's like indoor. It's climbing without ropes, but it's usually. I mean, outside you'll have find a boulder, find a route. It's more of a technical way of climbing than it is.
Rather than climbing up big walls.
Climbing up a big wall, yeah. It'll be like
it'll
be a sequence of manoeuvres up a smallish sort of boulder. Sometimes on a face, but we do that a lot indoors.
One more question that I'm going to be asking everybody else throughout the season. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Chicken.
Chicken.
Thank you very much.